We are here today in Passage East, County Waterford, where we are visiting the kennel of one of the leading Derby contenders, Sparta Maestro. So Phil, tell us how you got Sparta Maestro.
We bought him as a pup. My brother-in-law went up to Bunty Corcoran, the breeder, and I didn't go with him because John is a good judge of a pup. Picked out 2 pups, brought him home. I didn't see him, I'd say, until they were 6 months old. And I was talking to John a few times, and he says, just talking about this crash pup. He said, he's out in the field and he's galloping, and he said, this dog looks something else. You know, we actually bred 2 more crash litters on the strength of him as a pup. So I didn't get him down until he was about 14 months. He was a big dog, so we left him, took him handy then, you know, and he came down here. That's what we usually do. John buys the pups, picks them out, rears them, and I do the easy bit then, getting ready for racing.
He showed his potential from the word go.
He did really, yeah. He looked very green and awkward looking, galloping first, but he had a massive stride, and he was shown, you'd see him galloping in the field right now, he showed huge pace, you know. You'd know that he could run once he got the hang of it, you know, but he's very big, he's a big gangly pup, like, you know, 78 pounds weight, so we took it very, very slowly with him and just eased him into, we were straight galloping him first, and we eased him into the track then, you know. So
tell us where he began schooling.
He started, his first look at a track was in the schooling track in Dungarvan, and that's where we usually start all the pups. And then he was hand-slipped in Waterford, and maybe got 2 hand-slips in Waterford, and after that he got an unrecorded in Waterford and showed a lot of pace in the trial. So there was an unraced stake coming up in Waterford, and that was 6 or 8 weeks down the road. So we decided we'd try and lay him out for that, and it was sponsored by Noel Ryan, tree surgeon, and he qualified. His first qualifying trial was in Thurles, and he had a sprint in Waterford then, and his first race in Waterford in the unraced stake.
He went through that whole competition unbeaten. You must have been delighted with his performance.
Oh, we were delighted with him in Waterford. He won the final in 28:37, which is a hell of a run for a pup. And after that, then we decided that we'd have a go at the Puppy Derby. Harold's Cross is always a lucky track for us, and all the line had run well there. So we gave him a trial in Harold's Cross before the Puppy Derby, and he did 28:67 or something. I forget what he did now, something like that. So back to the Puppy Derby then. He won the first. He got beaten in the semi-final, and won the final. And after that, we were going to put him away after that, but the Masters was on in Waterford, so we said we'd give him one run with all age before we put him away for the winter. Beating a short head in the final, and we put him away after the Masters with the Derby this year in mind.
After the winter break, he really showed his Derby potential by winning the Larry Dunn Open 525.
That's right, yeah. First of all, we intended to run him in the Easter Cup, but he had a little bit of sickness, and it would have been too much of a rush to get him back for that. So the Larry Dunn was the first one we tried him in, and we were delighted with him. He took to Shelburne very well and won the final, and after that we were happy that he was going to perform in Shelburne anyway, that he took to the track, and we were really looking forward to upping him the distance to the 550. So after that, the EEC Timber Stakes for pups came up, and we entered him in that, and he ran very well the first night. The next night he didn't run well, but he had a few little problems. He minor things, so he didn't quite. He was gone out of that stake then, and we had a little bit of a rush to get him back for the Champion Stakes. We would have preferred another week, but we ran him in it anyway, and he qualified the first night and got to the final, and he was beaten. He was 4th in the final. Didn't really sparkle, but there was a reason for it. If you want me to tell, do you want me to tell the reason? We had a bit of problem in the kennel. There was 3 bitches that were kennelled with him. The 3 of them came in season, and that got a bit upset and just didn't perform. So we were happy that was the cause of it, and we had him back then for the Derby, which first round the other night, and he's back to his old form again, and hopefully he can continue like that for the next 6 weeks with a bit of luck.
Phil, you always had great success with this dam line, with having the mother and the grandmother also.
We've had, over the years, they've been very lucky for us. We first got involved with them through a lady up in Ballinaboola, Bunty Corrigan, as she's known to everybody. I started training dogs for her back with in 1999, I'd say. Maestro's mother was a real cracking bitch. She was a Droopy's cool bitch. She won the Grand Prix in Harris Cross, winter going. She won a 7:30 stake in Harris Cross. She didn't run much. She only ran 17 or 18 races. She was in front in a round of the Oaks in Shelburne and got knocked over and hurt her wrist. She was never the same bitch after, but she did come back and won. She won in 30 seconds for a 5:50 in Waterford. And I remember saying to Bunty at the time, keep her, she's your next brood bitch. And so, lucky enough she did. And we were lucky enough to buy a pup out of her, which turned out to be Maestro. Before that, I had her mother, Making Merry. The reason I got Making Merry in the first place was we bought pups off a Bunty. One of them was Sparta Tom, and Making Merry was, I think she had a little bit of difficulty getting her to go on the track. So she asked me would I take her down, and she settled in here more or less straight away, and she turned out to be an absolute super marathon bitch. I think she had 6 track records at one stage. She still has one in Waterford. She had the Shelburne record, she had the Harris Cross record, and she also won the big 7:30 stake in Cork. She won the Red Mills. They had a stake that time for bitches over different distances, and they contributed to breeding afterwards with it now. But we had one great night in Waterford with the 2 of them. Sparta Tom won the Waterford Glass and in a track record time, and Mary broke the 7:90 record the same night. So brother and sister did 2 track records in the one night.
And can you see any traits in Sparta Maestro?
Absolutely, yeah. He just shows the same raw pace. Making Merry was smooth running bitch. You'd be looking at her and you'd say she's not doing a thing. Next week you'd look at the clock and you wouldn't believe it. And Maestro is a bit the same. He's very deceptive in his stride. He covers the ground, and he's just showing that pace, that extra pace that you look for in a dog. These are only just in the kennels now the last week or 10 days. Actually only got them marked this morning, so I have no notion what they're like. They're nice dogs. They're a smaller version of the Maestro. They're not as big. They're tidier dogs, different type, but hopefully they can run. A lot of Ryle Impact Scannies, they're good, and dam line is, as we know, is excellent. So no reason why they can't be able to run anyway. We have another litter then on the ground as well. A dog and a bitch we bought there. The next one, they're Ballymac Maeves. They're I don't know, they're 4 or 5 months old, I suppose. And we'll be looking forward to them again. You never know with pups. You just take it as they come. If you could figure out why they're going to be good, we'd all be done it.
Hey, come on. Weedy looking, aren't they?
So what have you planned for the dog for the upcoming week for next Saturday night?
Well, the dog follow his usual routine, and plan is to give him a gallop up Ross Coursefield Wednesday evening, same as we always do. With the very good facilities down there and very safe place to gallop him. So that's where he's galloped, and we'll continue doing what we were doing with him. It's worked so far.
So can we go have a look at the dog Gallop?
The gallop is open to the public, and if the dog was coming up to gallop, I can't stop you from filming him. Yes, we were delighted with the run last week. It was a hot heat, and he just did everything right, and the race went his way. But you have to do that every night in the Derby. There's no such thing really as a soft heat. Hopefully he'll perform the same again and get through. The main thing is to just hang in there and get into the draw for the next round. So we just keep our fingers crossed. The dog is well anyway, and everything is going okay with him.